Welcome in. It is the ATB Show. ATBshow.com is the link with all the links of all the places that you can join us. We are brought to you by our dear friends at AAA Work Trucks, and Rubber Shoes has a new employee with him. We'll get to that in just a second. Rubber Shoes, take it away.
Yes, brought to you by AAA Work Trucks, your one-stop shop for all your work truck needs. If it goes in or on a vehicle, it's a good bet AAA can take care of it for you. Give them a call at 866-783-6222 or check them out online at aaaworktrucks.com.
So this is Maggie.
This is Maggie, the newest member to the ATB family.
You said Methuen or Haverhill?
Methuen.
Okay. Awesome. I saw in the pictures the full stomach shave, obviously. So all the work has been done.
Yeah, so she was a mother already.
Oh, okay.
And they fixed her. Yeah, any you get from the shelter, I think it's automatic. They have to fix the pet. So
Yep. And what was it? Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks ago that you lost Jingles, right?
yes.
Yep. 2 or 3?
Yeah,
maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yep.
Might be 3 now. Yeah.
That is a quick turnaround. I give you credit.
Well, so the same that happened the last time before we got Jingle is it's like you're so used to her being there, and it's like there's an empty void. So
Yep.
it's like, I mean, I was just a couple months ago, I was telling Stephanie, so when Jingle's gone, we're done. No more cats. It's like I want to be able to just go away, not worry about having the animals and stuff. And then that lasted all of a day.
And you're like, well, we're gonna find somebody else.
Yeah. So
Janina's funny because she's not the cat lover in the household. I am. The boys, I think, are like Switzerland. They could go either way.
Yep.
Janina, actually, our oldest cat, Janina was the one that put her on my radar. So we have Pickles, who's our oldest, and I'm going to be way off in the ages. I want to say Pickles this December is going to be 14. And then we inherited both Jeffrey and Margaret from a girl that I work with, and they are back to back like 6 and 4. So Janina's knowing that Margaret's not going anywhere for a while, and Margaret's the one that drives her the craziest. So she's the youngest, and she's the one that drives Janina the craziest. So, but I'm glad you've got another cat in the building.
We've never done multiple, because we had when I was in the Navy, there was a couple we were really close with, and they had 2 cats, and oh my God, those cats were. Sometimes they were nice with each other, sometimes they weren't. So it's always think of getting a friend, but we've always stayed with one.
Yep. Janina would love to be down to 1. And I've been informed time and time again, this is it. These are the last 3.
Yeah.
So I just had actually a guy in the office like, so I'm trying to find a home for it. I'm like, just send me pictures so I can start to work on the wife. And Janina's like, nope. So it's a hard no right now. We have 3 and we're good. Anyway, lots to get to. We've got Adam on assignment tonight. Scotty joining us possibly from the bleachers. Ava is at an event, and she's okay, but I think she just took like a little bit of a fall, and they're getting her back together. And he might be checking in with us, so we might go to a 3-up.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's me and you. You had hockey, now you don't have hockey.
Yeah.
So
that was
good.
that was a good soft opening.
Yeah.
Having a cat on me, because I was coming in hot.
What was wrong?
I didn't think I could be more disappointed than I have been this year than going last night and being live at the Fenway Park, and 1 hit through 5 innings, and then I realize when you sit there and there's no action by your team, you tend to notice the people around you a little more.
People watching at Fenway is a pleasure.
No, but it's just we were talking about this on the ride home. You don't get this at Celtics games. You don't get it at Bruins games. But the Red Sox crowd, for some reason, there's so many people that are there just because they're there to have drinks. They are not even interested in the game at all. Literally, these two girls came in probably third inning, sat down in front of us. They didn't look at the field once. They were like taking selfies of each other and this and that and talking to people on the phone. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why'd you even bother showing up? It's like I'm steamed already because the team is sucking, and you're making it worse for me.
Sitting in front of you, obviously.
Yeah. So I was. That's been on my head all day.
So you were trying to watch bad baseball through two people that weren't watching bad baseball.
Yeah.
I think such a large percentage of the people that are there passively. I mean, honestly, you included last night. You were those Joe and Leslie seats.
Yes.
Yeah, you were on company seats. Although you and Mother Shoes, this is your favorite sport. They are your favorite team. All that aside,
mine.
Yeah, you're
my favorite.
Well, yeah, Steph's Bruins all day, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Steph's Bruins all day. So in that vein, 50% and how well the Red Sox doing right now. Nobody was like, God, we got to get to a game in the last couple of weeks, right?
Right.
At least 48% of the crowd last night was there probably because somebody gave them the tickets, handed them tickets. I'm not going, or there were company seats.
So this year, this is the second game we went to.
Yeah.
We went back in April, and April and May, weather's bad. People aren't going. Period.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice weather out. Go out. It was a beautiful night. Sit around. We had about 2 drops of rain hit us, and so there was like a little passing cloud that we got a little bit of rain, but it was a beautiful night, and I understand. Yeah, go out. But to me, being such a diehard sports fan, like I'm there, everything else is extra. Like the nice night, I don't usually drink because $12 for a beer. I'm all set with that. I don't. So I'm there mainly to enjoy the game.
Yeah.
And everything else is extra. Most of the people around me were there to have their drinks, to socialize, and the game was just an afterthought. And it bugs me.
Yeah, I'm somewhere in the gray in the middle. I've never been the guy that sits there. And there's always one. I'm sure you saw 2 of them last night because you were in good seats. You were probably very close to somebody who's been there since the Truman administration. And they had the chart of accounts out, and they were tracking the whole game.
No,
Jason
Veritek was in front of us doing that, but no.
I think at least one of those. There's always one.
I have not noticed anyone scoring a game in years. Like you could get everything's right there on your phone now. Like you can look up the up-to-date box scores right then and there. So I think I
completely agree with you. I think it's more of a pastime.
Yeah, but there was nobody that was a huge ball fan that was older than me there. There were older people, but they were there for the same reason the young kids were there. They weren't doing the selfies and stuff, but they were more socializing and having drinks. The game was an afterthought.
Yeah. Well, and that's the whole reason the Nets went up.
Yeah.
The Nets went up the Nets went up for 50,000 reasons. One of the most predominant reasons the Nets went up is because of the lack of attention paid to the field during these games. And that is, there was a great meme the other day. I don't know how recent it was. It was a dad with his arm out, or a guy with his arm out. He's stopping the bat right in front of this kid, and the kid's phone just starting to look up. To look up. And the hand is stopping the bat, like right in front of him. So it's the just the change in the atmosphere with the people that are actually there, right?
I understand. So I'll catch myself, especially when I'm sitting in good seats. You're like, oh, you're so close. You take pictures, everything. But I tend to watch more of the game than doing that.
Yep.
And a lot of especially younger. Although I go to games with Tyler. Tyler is focused on the game.
Yep.
More like he'll in between stuff. He'll take a picture of the post on his whatever he's into now, and it is so frustrating.
My biggest challenge now when I go,
so I'm getting so old.
Yeah, we are. My biggest challenge now, and Cameron and I went late season last year to Fenway, and we were behind the Red Sox dugout, or just the corner of the dugout, in between first base and the corner of the dugout, probably about 7 rows back, and I just find myself looking up at the scoreboards and stuff like that. Like, not that you're not watching the game, but I don't get lost on my phone. Like, that stays put away. Definitely at a Bruins game, because my wife's company has seats on the red line, which is amazing, and I just find myself just watching the TV. I'm always looking up. Like, I'll look down quite a bit, but more often than not, I'm like watching it up there. I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. I'm sitting right here, and I find myself more than half the time looking up at the. And now, did you see how they launched the in honor of Mayor Menino the Bumbletron at Gillette? Did you see how they launched it? They did a whole countdown, and the other night when they had the in stadium practice that they always do. Yeah, they sort of launched it and they showed what it used to look like, and then they blew it up and they compared it to all these things. It's actually longer left to right than the new lighthouse is tall. Like they made all these comparisons on how 100 it's 150 soccer goals stacked and spread out. It's massive, and they started playing that, and I can't imagine there's going to be a lot of people that don't get pulled in watching that.
Right.
Some of the guys we're talking about in practice, it's going to be really tough. And they've been doing it for years now. The wide receivers are breaking away. They don't have to look over their shoulder to see if the defensive back is coming. They can look up. But it is such a massive screen. It's a smart move, though. It's so funny that they were so cognizant when they built Gillette to make sure that they had the salt and pepper bridge over by the lighthouse with that huge archway to let the 18-wheelers in for motocross and concerts and all that stuff. But they didn't really, they built it to make sure they could get the equipment in for concerts, but they didn't really build it acoustically for concerts. They didn't build Gillette really well to hold noise in. And that's going to be a huge improvement with that screen there. I still think I'd love to see them do something over the top of the upper deck with just at least fans or something to block sun for the upper deckers, and above and beyond that to hold the noise in too, because they didn't do a really good job initially. So we'll see what it's like with the wind. It's going to completely change the weather and the wind inside with that huge screen. But it begs the question, outside of me going to the Bruins when my wife's company gets us seats, or you going because Joe and Leslie are so generous, and we've been talking about this for years, like the size of our TVs at home, the convenience of my fridge doesn't charge me $12 for a beer. There's never a line for the men's room, and the commute home is a lot easier, and I think this is something they're going to continue to fight with. And right now, the Bruins, not so much, the Bruins are confusing. The Red Sox and the Patriots, God, the Patriots the most, are not giving you a reason to say, yep, I'm still in.
Right.
I'm absolutely going to drive to Gillette. I mean, that was not a real difficult decision for us to make, but when we decided we were going to punch out of our season tickets, it was time because of Aiden's sports. But just that commute. I remember that one game.
You're an hour further than I am, and it's a long drive for me.
The latest I ever got home, I know I've told the story, it was that Monday night Jets game, whatever it was, 55-3 or something. And Corey and I didn't get out of the parking lot until well after 2 for whatever reason. And he came back to my house. We didn't get to our exit in New Hampshire until about 5 something. Oh. And I actually got pulled over by a state trooper because I was nap jerking.
Oh.
And he pulls me over. I'm driving Corey's vehicle. Corey's asleep in the passenger seat. And when he pulls us over, he's like, license and registration. I'm like, I said, registration's in the glove compartment. It's my friend's vehicle. My license is in my snow pants. And he's like, oh, where are you? He goes, you heading out or coming home? I said, we're getting back from Gillette. He's like, really? And I said, I'll be honest, I had a beer about 3 days ago. Like, cause it was like my last beer was, I don't know, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, I had a couple of beers, but my last beer was about 10 hours ago. Gets us out. He looks at my address. We're 6 miles from my house. He's like, get home safely. I'm like, okay. But that was one of the roughest nights. I'm like, okay, at some point this has got to give, because it's just not enjoyable anymore.
I was telling Leslie last night, I'm like, yeah, I was telling her today, like, yeah, I'm feeling it. And we left 6th inning. We were home a little after 10 o'clock, but still by the time get ready to go to bed, it's 11. I'm usually asleep at 10 o'clock. I'm getting home a little after that. And then, both Steph and I, both of us are feeling it today.
Yeah, when because Janina's company's awesome with it. They'll basically go around and sort of let you pick your game. And Janina knows that Cameron and I want to go to like the Saturday matinee.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday matinee, Kowloon on the way home, and absolutely. And we've lucked out. We saw the Bergeron celebration, and in the last 2 years, this year they celebrated Bergie's goal mark.
Yep.
And they delayed it because they were waiting for him to get back to Boston for his parents to be able to come into town. We saw the Bergie celebration last year, and the year before that, it was the Tuca celebration. So we've always lucked out and just randomly picking Saturday matinee games. And it's to me, that's the best. Yeah, going on a school night, man. Nope.
Oh.
Nope. No, thank you. Don't want to deal with it.
Now, it's so bad that, like, when there's concerts that come up that I see, I'm like, oh, what night's it on? Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. I have 2 concerts, one in early September. That's on a Friday night. And I don't have to work at the fire station the next day, so I'm all good with that one. But I'm going to one in October or November, and it's a Monday night. Oh, I'm like, oh, that's gonna be a rough week. It'll probably take me till Thursday to recover just for staying up that late.
What are the concerts you're going to?
Pantera.
That's terrible.
Is September up in Guilford, New Hampshire.
Oh, good. Great venue. We love it up there. Love it.
So I always would go down to Mansfield.
Just saw Counting Crows there again. Good.
Just thinking, oh, Guilford's so much further. I'm like, it's not. It's actually, and it's a such much easier drive up there.
And I would argue, if you play your cards right and get the right parking and stuff, just lights out, so good. I tripped over tickets this year. Girl I know has great seats, and she threw up that she was not going to use them. And we were 5th row, section C, so front sections, side. We had the aisle seat and 1 seat in, 5 rows from the stage, and we bought the VIP parking. And we were literally parked, walked about 30 paces to scan into the venue. They have that whole area with the food court and everything. It's just so user friendly, and obviously it's close for us. But like, lights out for what Meadowbrook used to be, what Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion has turned into. Night and day. It's so good.
I can't wait.
Meadowbrook, way back in the day, there were no seats, there was no covered area. It was a stage and just grass. It has come such a long way. And now on that left-hand side with the Coors Light VIP deck and everything, it's so good. Phenomenal place for a show. And the artists love it. Counting Crows was wrapping up, and they brought Dashboard Confessional with them. Brought them out to do one last song together, hanging around before they did their last song. And they were talking about, everybody talks about, it's a lobster bake every time. That's all they do every night for every artist out back is a lobster bake. And he's like, he goes, I do not say this everywhere we go. This is one of our absolute favorite places to play. You treat us so well. and the lobster and the lobster and the lobster. And he wrapped up saying, he's like, good night, New Hampshire, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, we will be back. People love it. It's such a good take. Yeah. And if you get the weather right, and we did, knock on wood, because this summer was like a crapshoot with weather.
Yep.
Such a crapshoot. What's the other one you're doing? Pantera and what?
Tool.
Where did this come
November.
from? I'm waiting for you to tell me that I missed the EPMD reunion show or something.
No, so, well, Ice Cube was supposed to play at the Garden, but he ended up canceling it.
Interesting.
I keep waiting for a good hip hop show to come around, and nothing's coming around. But Tool, I've seen Tool twice already. They are a phenomenal show. Pantera, they haven't played in probably like close to 20 years, and I at the gym I listen to heavy metal a lot of the times, so that's I got into that early 2000s into the heavy metal, and I used to go to the Ozfest every year. So I've seen Pantera. This will be the fourth or fifth time I've seen them, and this is the first. So two of the members are dead. So they have basically it's the lead singer, and then they have two guys filling in for those two guys.
I would have never guessed you were heading to that. And the wife's into that?
No, me and Tyler going to both of them.
Okay. I know he's into that.
So he would prefer to go to a hip hop show. Like he's
really?
Gone to, like he's seen like Little Uzi Vert, Tyler the Creator. But like he's seen a lot of hip hop shows that I don't go with him. He's gone with friends. We saw Wu-Tang Clan together. That was his first hip hop show that we went to. His first concert that we went to was Marilyn Manson and Slipknot.
I would have never guessed. Yeah. I would have never guessed.
His first hip hop show was Wu-Tang.
Speaking of bad performances,
well, he likes to. So a lot of the entrances for wrestling are more to the rock side, so he appreciates it that way. So
Thursday night, what are your thoughts? We're not going to see Mac. Everybody's talked about Mac. Mac's not playing.
I'm excited because CJ Strode is or Strad, however you pronounce his last name, is supposed to start for the Texans. So I'm interested in seeing him. Yeah, they've already said pretty much no starters are playing for the Patriots this week. So I really don't have much interest. I care. We have questions about the first team. Never mind, the second, third, fourth stringers.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe someone shows off that they end up because their offensive line, that is the biggest question going into this season.
Yeah.
And they're still, the reports every day out of training camp, they're like, oh, yeah, this guy was pulled out of the line. They threw someone else in there because this guy wasn't doing good. And then it's someone else the next day. They could be in Mac Jones could be running for his life a lot to start out this season if they don't get their shit together.
Well, and none of this was a surprise. I guess I'm just shocked they didn't put more care into getting this ready for him.
That you said it right off the bat that the Red Sox and the Patriots, what are they doing? Like, are they just coasting off what they did for the last 20 years? Like, oh, the fans will still come because we won these championships over the last 20 years. Like, that'll only get you so far.
Well,
that'll get you a couple seasons, but then they're gonna start getting angry. The Red Sox fans are already starting to turn on the ownership. If the Patriots don't make a playoff run in the next season or two, it'll get ugly there too.
And Lord knows what the conversations are between Bill and Robert, but this is a huge year for Belichick. Although veiled by the fact that he can still blame it on Mac if it doesn't go right. But if you look at the microfiche after the game and Mac's only in trouble because Mac's getting in trouble because nobody's blocking for Mac, you can't blame that on Mac.
Right.
Right? He's going to have the playbook because of O'Brien. everybody says he looks great this year. Looks great physically, and he's showing up and leadership and all the receivers seem to be singing his praises. But if he doesn't have time to get the ball out, he doesn't have time to get the ball out. Like that, end of story, right? So I don't know. I can't imagine it's going to be great if they do. I mean, with the schedule they have too, they could start 1-3.
They could start 0-4. You know, I mean, we don't know what the Jets are really going to be like. But if you just take what the Jets were last year, what they were lacking last year was a quarterback. Like they almost beat the Patriots twice last year with very subpar quarterback play. And now they bring in Aaron Rodgers, and they're not going to get worse.
No.
So they were. I didn't hear. I haven't gone over the whole schedule, but Teddy Johnson was on today in the midday show, and he was saying that their schedule is really hard at the beginning and really hard at the end, and it's kind of cushy in the middle. But I mean, you start off 0-4, and then that cushy part in the middle. Then you go 4-4, and then you have a rough patch at the end again. I haven't looked at it. I think I know where my number's going to land about for predictions, but I haven't actually gone over the whole schedule yet. But I don't see it being much better than last year. Although you listen to all the gambling so-called experts that are on the different radio stations. Yep, they're all going with the over.
So I know the preseason doesn't matter, but just to roll through it real quick, obviously Texans are here tomorrow. And then the 19th, the Pats are at the Packers. And then the Pats are at the Titans on the 25th. And then it starts, obviously, with the Eagles at Gillette, Dolphins at Gillette. We go to the Jets, Pats at Cowboys, Saints at Patriots, Pats at Raiders, Bills at Patriots, Patriots at Dolphins, Commanders. What? Oh, God. Commanders at Pats, Colts at Pats, Pats at Giants, Chargers at Patriots, Patriots at Steelers, Chiefs at Pats, dear God. Patriots at Broncos, Patriots at Bills, Jets at Patriots, January 7th.
Yeah, actually not. There's a lot of questionable, like the Saints, the Raiders. They got Denver. Last year, before the season, we thought they were going to be, one of the teams fighting for in that AFC West, but they did really bad. So, do they get their shit together this year and play the way that everyone thought they were going to play last year? So that's a who knows. I mean, all of them are you go into the season with predictions thinking what you know about these teams, but, every year there's surprises and both ways. Teams you didn't think that were going to be that good and teams that are worse than you thought they were going to be.
I know you guys were at Fenway, so you probably, unless you found some time at some point today, you have not watched Hard Knocks yet. Are you going to watch Hard Knocks?
I wasn't planning on it.
Interesting.
I haven't watched the Hard Knocks probably since I remember the last one I watched was the Oakland Raiders. I mean, whatever Raiders they were back then. I don't think they were in Vegas yet. Or maybe they were. Maybe they had just gone to Vegas. Max Crosby, I think, was a rookie that year. It's when they had Antonio Brown.
And he froze his feet.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the last.
Because they covered him getting released and going to the Patriots and all that stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the last one I watched.
Yeah, Janina hates watching it for one reason, because any show like that endears her to the athletes. Yeah. So she likes it because it makes her, feel more connected to them, maybe care a little bit more during the season. But invariably she gets annoyed by it because she hates, like any reality show, she hates when people get cut. She can't watch that part of it when you get to those final weeks where they're bringing people in to cut them. I can't wait to watch it because I just want to watch. I want to watch the whole village burn to the ground. And And I'm not the kind of guy that says, I don't like that restaurant, I'm going to boycott it. I don't want to watch that movie, I'm going to boycott it. I'm a support what you support, not a boycott kind of person. But I'm absolutely thrilled to watch Aaron Rodgers burn this thing to the ground. I think it's not going to be great. I really do. You think it's going to go well?
Yeah, because I think what he didn't have in Green Bay, which I don't know why they wouldn't have given him more control out there. So what I've heard, people that have seen the first episode already, they're saying that Aaron Rodgers sounds like he's the coach. And if they're gonna let him control a lot of what he does, and people respect him as a player. You know, he may be a little wild out there with his personal life, but football-wise, he's still one of the greats. And if they let him get controlled, that team has some talent. If they go, oh, well, you know, this guy's a Hall of Famer, let's listen to him. They got a lot of young guys. If they listen to him and it starts going well, if they start off playing well and, you know, run off 2-3 wins in a row to start the season, I think they could get better. But there's always that shit show, but I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I think, one, Rodgers is going to want to show the Packers that they should have let him do what he wanted. Like, same with Brady when he went to Tampa.
Yep.
You know, Brady went to Tampa. They let him do whatever he wanted down there. He was basically the offensive coordinator down there, and look what it got him. So I could see something like that happening with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets.
Aaron Rodgers has been in a position in Green Bay, though, where he was the senior voice in the room.
I don't
think LaFleur wasn't stopping him from doing what he wanted to do. No way.
He was. They butted heads because LaFleur wanted him to trust him, and I know how to devise this offense. You just have to trust me. And I don't think Rodgers ever bought in. He's like, I've been doing this for this long. I've been successful. Why aren't you doing it my way? And just Mike McCarthy was just a buffoon. I can't believe Dallas ever signed him. How he ended up keeping his job this season, I don't know.
Yeah,
but that guy does not know what he's doing as a head coach. So as long as the head coach of the Jets stays out of his way, I think he's going to have a decent year. I'm not saying they're going to be great and win a Super Bowl, but they could make some noise, I think.
Okay.
And it's so hard, and we're not going to see any of it. We're barely going to see the first stringers play out of those 3 games. They're not playing at all this game. They probably won't play at all the last game. We'll see maybe a half that second game against the Packers.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I think the Patriots are gonna look pretty good on offense. Their defense has been pretty good the last few years, although losing McCourty's gonna hurt a little, but I think Kyle Duggar's gonna fill his shoes. They were talking about that also today. Kyle Duggar, they're like, we need to hear more from him, and maybe because McCourty was there, he didn't really voice his opinion and step up and be that leader. But now that McCourty's gone, he can step up into that role because I love him as a player, and I think you do as well.
Oh, Kyle, yeah, 1,000%. Yeah. Yep.
So I'm as long as they don't get, and Christian Gonzalez has been
gonna be a huge bust,
so far.
huge bust. It's coming. Nostradamus, huge bust.
They have not said anything bad about him. I don't know if they're just trying. No, the reporters don't like to kiss Bill's ass. So
right, if he was a bust, they'd say he's a bust. I know. I'll say he's a bust. I will carry that water. I'll carry the water on that one. We haven't said. We need to say we had a show summit last Thursday, and we do want to thank our title sponsors, Joe and Leslie, for being the founders of the feast. Yes, we were served all the chicken that we could eat at Kowloon. The Saugus wings were delicious as always. There were multiple Mai Tais, all responsibly consumed.
Yes.
Yes.
So I guess
course.
we can say that AAA Work Trucks is the official sponsor of ATB at the Buzzer, since they're our only sponsor.
Yeah, they're the title sponsor.
Yeah.
They're the title sponsor, yes. And unfortunately, we got a great picture out front. And again, thanks, Joe and Leslie, for that. That was awesome. So after the AAA Work Trucks ATB official summer summit at Kowloon, I don't know if that'll fit on the shirt. We're working on it. We're leaving, and we see Bobby Wong, who is the eldest sibling. I do believe he's the oldest brother. He's holding the doors and stuff, and he is the czar now that mom and dad are both passed. Mom passed over, I think in March or so. The matriarch passed away. Dad's been gone for a while. I think Donald was his name. Mom died a little while ago. So now that Bobby Wong is like, he's always been the face for the last handful of years, but he was marching around holding doors open. And I said, hey, can we steal a photo? And yeah, you have to, like, it doesn't happen that often. Most people are pretty well adept. The kid that grabbed the phone, Scotty's got his iPhone out. Uncle Dukes hands his phone to this kid who looks like any other non-playable character in any video game, right? And he grabs the phone and he holds it up and he pops off 3 shots. These look like isolated stills from the Zapruder tapes. They're so grainy. Your eyes are closed in 2 of them. You know what I mean? Like
I didn't really look that close.
There was no framing.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking aesthetically, I'm like, oh, I guarantee Kowloon, the sign's not in this shot. We should have.
Right.
I needed that kid to back into traffic, which probably would have been a better result. And yeah, he didn't back up. It's so grainy. There was no focusing done. I don't know what happened. So now we got to go back. And then you of course turn to the great Mr. Wong, and you're like, hey, Joe, Cena wore those shoes because they made, which is amazing, they made Kowloon Dunks, which you could purchase for the delicious price of $4.95 plus shipping. They're like $5.50 for a pair of these. And John Cena popped him on, fought in WrestleMania this past year, and then signed him and brought him back. And they're in Kowloon in a shadow box, and you went in. He brought you in to show you, right?
Yeah, yep.
That's amazing.
Because I was in there right after WrestleMania, and I knew he had sent them back to Kowloon, so I was kind of looking for him, but I never asked anyone where they were.
So where are they when you go in? Where are they?
So where the hostess stand is?
Yeah, it's right there.
Directly across, up in the ceiling.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if they weren't up and away, they get stolen for sure.
Oh yeah.
5,000%. Yes.
Well, you figure how much those, plus now they have a John Cena autograph on them too.
Yes. Yeah.
It's in a case with, I believe, 4 autographed John Cena pictures plus the autographed shoes.
Yep.
That little case there is worth a pretty penny, definitely.
Couple dollars. Since you and I care about golf, let's talk about golf. You got picks. I got dragged into, one of my friends has decided to start to put together, just to keep it interesting. We bet on the Open, and we just drafted our players for the FedEx Cup. So going into this weekend, who do you like overall for the FedEx Cup?
So is it too late to join?
Yeah, this one's closed out. Yes.
Next year, keep me in mind. I did 3 of the majors because they didn't ask me for the Masters, but I did the PGA, the U.S. Open, and the Open.
Well,
pool.
the four of us should just do it next year. Like Adam doesn't care, but Adam could just pick some golfers. He could draft some golfers.
I wish he was here tonight.
Uh-oh.
So yes, I think it was yesterday.
I'll tell you who mine are for the FedEx Cup real quick.
Oh yeah.
I got McIlroy, Hovland, Keegan, Jason Day, and Thigala. It was funny because I was waiting for my last pick and I wanted to grab Tommy Kim or Morikawa, and the next 2 picks, of course, grabbed Tommy Kim and then Morikawa. So,
I like Rory's he's my favorite golfer right now. I'm always pulling for him. He hasn't won a major in, was it like 8 years? They said. It's going to
Yeah, it would have been 14. He won the Open in 14.
the Open.
Yep.
Oh, so 9 years ago.
He just won the Scottish, but that's not a thing yet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's definitely my favorite. Keegan has played pretty good the last month or so. So that's a good pick. I like your picks. Who is did you have the first pick? Did you pick Rory first overall?
That Rory was my first pick because the draft order was all over the place. So I'm not going to give it to you in order, but I'll give you the teams. I forget who picked first. Chris, who put it together, picked first. I'm pretty sure it went Rahm, Scheffler, McIlroy, or Homa, McIlroy. Somebody took Homa before McIlroy? No, I can't remember. The teams that went. First team.
If I had the first pick overall, I would have taken Rory.
Really?
Yep.
No, because Rahm and Scheffler were in front of him.
Rahm, I have confidence in. I don't have confidence in Scheffler. I think he's going to be one of these, like Jordan Spieth. He was good for a year and then gone. Never do anything again.
Well, the same guy that grabbed Rahm grabbed Spieth. So there's a team with Rahm, Schauffele, Clark, Spieth, and Young. Then you got Scheffler, Cantlay, Fleetwood, Hatton, and Morikawa. I've got Thigala, Day, Bradley, Hovland, and McIlroy. And then he's got a team in here that doesn't have all five. Homa, Fowler, Finau, and Tommy Kim. That person's missing their fifth. Anyway, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it next year. It's super simple to do it next year, and we gotta figure out what day we're gonna do our football draft too, which is also important.
Yeah, that Rahm Schauffele group that's a pretty. Schauffele's been pretty sneaky good this year. He's had a lot of.
That's Chris who put the whole thing together, so he's stacked the deck. Yeah,
sounds a little shady.
Yeah, it's the commissioner. The commissioner's
maybe I don't want to
get
in it.
The commissioner's always suspect. Always suspect. Yeah. What are we going to touch on before we escape?
Let's see. I don't know if there's anything other. Oh, that's Adam. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So, I believe it was yesterday when we were driving into Fenway.
Okay.
They had I think it was Felger Maz that was on, and they had people. So how they're also on MSNBC or NBC Sports Boston, whatever it's called now.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Well, they were preempted by WNBA, Connecticut Sun.
I love it.
And they had
a conniption.
They read. No, it wasn't the show that had a conniption. It was fans, because there was people sending emails in saying, "Why the hell would you put on a girls' basketball game instead? Don't they know where they get their ratings from?"
Oh boy!
Because some of these people were from places that couldn't get the radio station.
Couldn't listen to it, right?
Although if you're smart enough, you can go to either 90.5 Sports, the app, or Odyssey app, and get them that way.
Yep.
But a lot of people listen through the show, through the TV, and I would probably be the same way. I'd probably be pissed if I was at the fire station that day and had it on, and I wouldn't have. They got a lot of hate mail.
It's literally this easy. I'm just going to check real quick. Alexa, play 98.5 the Sports Hub.
Well,
she said she can't find the station. I get, but
so I'm thinking these people are like me, not you, Timmy, like me that still have cable.
I know. I'm literally leaving the show to drive my antiquated boxes to FedEx to send them back.
I cannot see myself ever cutting the cord. I cannot see me doing it, because I like to flip during commercials, and you cannot do that with streaming services without it being such a pain in the ass, because it's streaming, so it's not you flip the channel, it's right there, right then and there. You got to wait for it to buffer and all that, and it drives me nuts.
Yep.
So I love cable. If they fix that with streaming, I may switch, but as of right now, I'm staying with my
The
cable
biggest
the way it
challenge,
is.
you make a great point. The biggest challenge right now that if you want to have a remote that has the actual numbers. So for me on DirecTV, Nesson 628. So if I wanted to flip between an afternoon game of the Red Sox closing out a Thursday series and Felger and Maz over on 630, which is Boston NBC Sports Boston, just to hit the previous button and jump back and forth, or to just be able to punch in 630, 628. I have to click to the right twice. And to your point, it doesn't just click in.
Yeah.
It tells me what's coming on, and then the line grows up, and then the picture pops up. So it's not too bad. Unfortunately, where we live, it went from whatever the hell it was, MetroCast to something to that. Now it's Breeze Line. And the best I can do, which is what we currently have, is a gig down. And we pull probably when everybody's home doing all the things in my neighborhood, I'm probably pulling 7, but we're usually pulling in pretty good numbers. So it does move pretty quickly, but I do miss having the ability to just click in the number, which we can't do that right now. You can get a thing with, this is a free commercial, they're not sponsors. Hi, Joe and Leslie, thank you for dinner on Thursday. So you can go get a Gemini box with an actual remote, but that defeats the whole purpose. I don't want to have that. So I'm hoping, to your point, that they come up with a third-party remote that you can get that will talk to my Roku TV and also make me clickable around the streaming. But so far, I will take the $75 a month in savings to get rid of the boxes.
I mean, I would love to watch. So there's a lot of content on ESPN Plus that you have to get out of your regular cable to go to it, and
we do that.
You can't flip right back to regular cable. So I end up watching, I'll watch one on the TV and I'll watch the other on my iPad. Mm-hmm. That's how I switch back. I just turn my head back and forth. That's it. If it's something that I really want to watch, like a lot of UFC stuff is on ESPN Plus, so we want to watch the fights on ESPN Plus. We'll put it on the big TV, and then I'll put the Red Sox game on the iPad, and that's how I flip. But
you guys are Xfinity and Lowell, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Until it gets where, because most of my nights I'm sitting there I am just so old. I sit and watch. Everyone loves Raymond and The Office and flip back and forth of reruns that I've already seen 100 times.
4,000 times, yes, of course.
Yeah. And then when the game's on, it's like the game's on first, and then when there's a commercial, it's, which show doesn't have a commercial? I am so bad. I hate commercials so much.
Yeah, you can skip through them for the most part. It is so true, though. Like when we're clicking, like we're going through all the sports stuff. We just finished watching the Tour de France on Netflix. We're going to start the quarterback show. I want to watch the Johnny Manziel thing. When you're in that program, and I guess it's expected, I've got to sort of take that streaming mindset to my live TV, which is now clicking, and there is the delay. I completely appreciate that. I hope we get to a point where it's a little more, because what was really cool when we had DirecTV satellite, I could with the one at our house, I could simply say, Alexa, tune to, and I could say ESPN, and she would repeat back. She was like, tuning to ESPN on DirecTV, and it would do it because it was all connected through the network. Yeah. It won't do it with the streaming through the TV, but it would do it through the network with the box, which they'll
even
get there.
If you have a smart TV, so even right now, Xfinity's trying to make it that you stay with them, because I can get Apple TV, I can get ESPN Plus, Netflix, all those apps through the cable box. Yep. But you're leaving to go to those, and it's not an instant. And Xfinity's platform is really slow. Like a lot of times, just for laziness, I stay and go through the Xfinity, but I know I should just turn on my Apple. What do they? I forget what they call it now. Apple TV, is that
Apple TV?
That's the Apple. Yeah,
Yep.
I would rather put my Apple TV on because that moves a lot quicker.
Faster. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, just pure laziness that I'm already sitting there. I'm like, oh, it's on ESPN Plus. I could just say ESPN Plus into my remote, or I have
Yes.
to open the drawer, get the TV remote, change it over
That's
to
the one
Apple
thing
TV.
right now. I'll say this much right now. All of our TVs are down to one remote. That's amazing.
If they made it that I don't even mind a little buffering, but right now it's like it's not even like if you switch from Netflix to Apple TV, it's like minutes before you get to the next thing. You can't just flip back and forth.
Ours
if they
moves,
ever make
ours moves pretty quick, thank God.
But it's like if I had a smart TV that I had all those apps on there, and I could just go from app to app, the program on each app, and it's like then I'm sold, I'm gone. But as of right now, until that happens, I'm sticking with it.
How many boxes at the collective household between you and the in-laws?
Oh, I don't know how many they have upstairs. It's their own. We're on our own separate bills.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you guys just had it all wired together to make it make.
Yeah, no.
No. Okay.
And actually, I have at least one box that we don't even use. The one in our bedroom we don't even use. I should just get rid of that one and stop paying the monthly fee on that. But we currently have 4.
Okay.
Have the room I'm in now, the dining room, not the dining, the living room, Tyler's room, and then our bedroom, which, like I said, we never. I love falling asleep to the TV. She can't fall asleep if the TV's on.
Crazy. She gets mad because I'll have the TV on. Like last night, for example, she's crashing. I've got the TV on, the socks, so it's a pretty bright picture. And I'm also Tim talking at the same time. So she's like, pick an audio source. Like, so I'll turn the game down because it was not great. I turned the audio down on the game, still have that going. Then she's like, you're not watching. Can you just shut it off? It's so bright. I'm like, your eyes are closed. She goes, it's.
I say the same thing. It's like if you're trying to go to sleep and your eyes are closed, you shouldn't see any of it.
Yes.
She gives me the same excuses.
Yeah, she's not a fan.
And I'm guessing you're the same way. I like falling asleep to the TV. I think I actually fall asleep better, but I don't need any help, really.
No, I shut it down. I stopped fighting that a long time ago. Like, I'll get to a point where I'm just like, okay, I'm shutting the room down. Yeah. Like, no, I won't fall asleep with the TV on.
Oh,
I will shut it down.
When I'm at the fire station, I have to, like, I'll text Steph and say, I'm laying down, so I'm saying goodnight right now. Because I'm laying down with the TV on, and I bet usually before she replies to me, I'm already fallen asleep.
Already gone.
So I'll wake up to go for a call, and I'll be like, oh yeah, she did get back to me.
Jesus.
Because that's how I am out on the couch watching in the recliner.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be talking to me, and mid-sentence, I'm just out. I can fall asleep that quick and easy with the TV on.
Yeah, I haven't done that in so long. We just shut it down.
I would love to have the TV on and just say, once I fall asleep, shut it off. But then she wouldn't be able to fall asleep until I fall asleep and she shuts it off. So
Of course.
Yeah.
All right, we're back at it next week. I do believe Adam's on assignment next week. I will be driving the boy to Illinois. The boy to Illinois. So we're heading up to drop Aiden off at school. So you're gonna have rubber shoes and Uncle.
So who's gonna take that worse? You or Jen?
Collectively, I'm not saying that anybody's gonna take it any better or any worse. I don't know. I think we've all been whistling past the graveyard on his departure. Cameron's right there in the mix too. I think he's gonna be pretty rough. I'm off all next week. Monday, I'm playing in a tournament here in New Hampshire, a charity tournament, and then we start driving Tuesday, all day Wednesday, and then Thursday we get up there, and then Friday morning he moves in, and there's like student events and stuff. Saturday morning, there's some more stuff. And then Saturday, 12 to 2 is the farewell lunch. And pretty much at 2 o'clock, hug your kid, get off campus.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a shit show. And then she got a hotel far enough away, but still nearby that we're just trying to drive to get on the road. But she's like, I'm not going to be able to drive. Like if we weren't saying goodbye to him, she'd be willing to drive until she got tired. But she's like, I just want to get far enough away, and then we'll get to sleep. And then Sunday and Monday, we'll just crush it all the way back. I'll be back in the office on Tuesday. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be rough. I didn't want to think about it. Not looking forward to it at all. Not looking forward to it at all. Everybody's
So
like,
then
he'll be home. I'm like, yeah,
Scotty,
sure.
Scotty and I next week?
I believe it is you and Scotty next week. Yeah.
All
so
right.
For all of us, for Adam and Scotty and Rubber Shoes and myself, and of course our title sponsors, the founders of the feast, Joe and Leslie, and our friends at AAA Work Trucks. We'll see you in and around the internet. Please like and share and subscribe, and of course comment away. It's all at atbshow.com. Have a phenomenal week.